When the players were asked who was the most overrated player in the NBA, there was a tie between Draymond Green and Russell Westbrook. That's the one I want to bring to the table. Wendy, you made an interesting observation when I showed that to you earlier today about Draymond.
Well, Draymond believes he's one of the most underrated players in the league, and he thinks he's one of the most underpaid players, too. So that one probably hit him pretty hard.
What do you think, Jalen? Is Draymond Green overrated or underrated?
Draymond Green is underrated. I've been watching Draymond Green since he was in high school. For those that don't know, he's from Saginaw, Michigan. He was a champion then. He overachieved at the university, at Michigan State University. He played there 4 years. And if you look back at his footage, he's changed his diet and he changed his approach and improved his jump shot. He was a second-round pick.
Yeah. Yep.
Now he's a 3-time All-Star and a 3-time champion and a starter on the best team in basketball.
Yes, but for how long? Because it does bring up an interesting question. Depending on how this postseason shakes out, what do you think Draymond's immediate future, Brian Windhorst, might look like?
Well, Draymond has pretty much yelled from the rooftops that he wants a contract extension this summer, which he is eligible for, and he wants a big one because he feels he is underpaid from his last contract that happened before the cap spike. The question is, with his body breaking down a little bit, and frankly, his last season and a half, his numbers have decreased as well. Will the Warriors be willing to give him the contract he wants? This is going to be a battle. We know because Draymond has switched agents and hired Rich Paul of Clutch Sports to go to battle for him. And the question is, if Kevin Durant leaves, will the Warriors retrofit their roster around the Splash Brothers and look to trade Draymond Green? Somewhere secretly in a drawer or in a locked file, there's a list of trade opportunities that the Warriors have come up with for Draymond Green because they are preparing for this moment.
And the primary person the Warriors might be trying to get in a trade, their dream scenario if they lose KD is?
They will call the Pelicans and make an offer for Anthony Davis. Now, the big thing about Anthony Davis is what happens with the Celtics. If Kyrie walks, do the Celtics make the premium offer? Because the Celtics can outbid the Warriors. They can outbid the Lakers. But if the Celtics don't make a premium offer, which frankly is possible if Kyrie walks, it brings in a whole lot of other scenarios. But any team that would trade for Draymond Green would inherit the exact same issue that the Warriors are facing. He wants to be paid a huge extension this summer.
Okay, but how much of his numbers do we credit to the fact that KD is there and that there's just not enough basketball to go around to maintain the numbers that he at one point in time had with his roster?
It's a legitimate question. The other question is, he is in such a perfect spot. Look, I respect Draymond like crazy. I agree with you. I watch the Big Ten every single night. He has made himself into a really good NBA player. But he's also in the perfect circumstance for what he does. What do you think of that? Next year, the Warriors could be no KD, no Draymond, no Boogie, and add Anthony Davis. Does that feel like a possibility to you?
It doesn't. The Anthony Davis part doesn't seem like a possibility for me. I agree that in their starting 5, I believe only the Splash Brothers will be returning next year. But when I look at that overrated list, a couple of things kind of stood out to me. One, Draymond and Russell are both abrasive, aggressive players. And so that's going to always rub guys the wrong way in a league where everybody seems to be friendly toward one another.
So this is personal, you think? These are guys taking little personal digs.
And if you looked at 3, 4, 5 in no particular order, those guys were on the same team starting this year. Jimmy Butler, Wiggins, and Towns. They were all on the same team.
They probably all voted for each other.
How about that? How about that?
But how is Russell Westbrook legitimately on that list? I think he's the most underappreciated player. What he's been able to do, 3 consecutive seasons of averaging a triple-double. We've never seen this before, really. And yet we sit there and nobody talks about him at all, and we say he's stat hunting or he's this. Look, Paul George and the benefit of what Paul George has done this year, some of that is to Russell Westbrook.
Sean, you know this, playing at UCLA men's gym for years. I played out there for 15 years. You was there. Russell was there. I remember when they made it to the NBA Finals. I walked down to the court and gave Russell a hug and apologized for the way that the media was assassinating this man's character and talking about his game. Since then, he's become an MVP. He's overcome KD leaving. Paul George has stayed. Billy Donovan is still the coach. He's averaged triple-doubles for 3 straight years. He's become one of the best players in the game.